Alright then, what's this? Another basketball management sim? But this time with a 3D match engine? Pro Basketball Manager 2023? Let's take a look. Pro Basketball Manager 2023. It's been out for a few months already, since last November, I think. I must have been playing some other new release game at the time that prevented me from covering this then. But at the time of recording, this is on sale on Steam, so if you like the look of what you see today, get over there quickly, put a link in the description. We did, of course, recently look at International Basketball Manager 2023, another basketball management game, so we're going to see how this one compares. So first thing I notice, if we come over here to set up a new career, just takes a minute or so to set everything up. But yeah, it's the number of leagues, the sheer number of leagues. I mean, if you look at this is just the start of it. That's just going down to C. You can see this scrolls down a very long way. Far more many leagues than International Basketball Manager. We've even got here the British Basketball League if you want to play with one of those teams, like the Leicester Raiders. Now, they've got a handful of licensed leagues. This is something where International Basketball Manager has more, but for example, the French leagues, the Betclic League and the Pro B are licensed. Also the Cypriot League and New Zealand's National Basketball League. And here's one other thing. Italy is licensed, not the Men's Basketball League, but the Women's Basketball League. So yeah, we've got women's leagues represented in the game as well. And there are some leagues like Germany, for example, Italy with the Men's League. They go down to the 3rd division. France even going down to a 4th division. So you could really get a kind of road to glory going on this. So plenty of options. Not many licensed options. Now, of course, there is a way to get the real logos and real team names for the NBA and most of the other leagues around the world, but we'll cover that in another video. Anyway, I've already started a new career with one of the licensed leagues as manager of Monaco, so let's dip into that and take a look. Alright, so in terms of layout, user interface, there's nothing revolutionary here in terms of a sports management game, but there's a lot of familiarity for a sports management game. So up here in the manager section, we've got our inbox, we've got our manager profile up here, and we can also keep our own kind of personal shortlist here by tracking players and putting them into our own list. We also have this plays tab here, so this is one way you can kind of set up your own coaching style. You can design different moves that you want your players to take. So yeah, you can just play around with this, come up with some different plays, and the fact that there's an import tab here suggests you can bring in other players' ideas as well. I'm yet to find any, but I'm sure they're out there. And yeah, you can create multiple of these. I mean, we could get one going just now. And then you can choose your starting position, you can choose the kind of setup of the court, and we can save that. And then obviously we start with our point guard, so you can come up with some actions for him. If you want him to drive and shoot, you want him to pass, move, what do you want him to do? So if we say here, pass, and then we'll go for a chest pass out to the small forward, then we want the small forward, let's say, to move into the middle. So we'll tell them to do a fast run into the middle, and then we want our center. We want our center just to move out. I think we'll have them move out, just a slow run behind. Then we'll have him do a quick pass to our center. We'll do a quick chest pass to the center, and then our center, we will have him do a drive and shoot. So we can wind this back here and look at how that plays out. I mean, it's just a short one. You can go up to like 10 seconds.
Master tactician and a man of singular vision.
Anyway, we get back to this side tab. If we move down to the club details, we get kind of overview of the club, a comparison with other teams in the league. But I like this as well. You can also compare to other teams in other leagues around the world. And then we can also get our overview of the roster. We can have a look at some of their stats from the recent games. We can also check in on their contract details. We can have a look at their jersey numbers, that kind of thing. You see here as we hover over players, we can get some basic info on them. We can also take a look at their player profile. Again, very similar to anyone who's familiar with Football Manager. So we get the preferred positions, we get the attributes over here, stats and records from recent games, contract details, all that kind of stuff, and an option to interact if you want to renegotiate the deal. You can also get a full career history. So we see John Brown III, he's been around a bit. So here's a tactics tab. Now, how is this different from plays? Well, this is more about the overall makeup of the team and their starting formation, for example. Then we've got the offensive tactics, so tempo, and then, you know, the balance between 2-point and 3-point shots, what we want them to do when they're faced with rebounds. And we can do individual settings here for who we want on 2-point and 3-point shots. and so on. Defensive tactics, we can also set these in terms of putting the pressure on the other players, the screening and the hedging. I have to admit my basketball knowledge is too casual to know what all of these terms mean. A hedge in basketball is a defensive pick and roll tactic used to nullify an on-ball screen. I think I need a dictionary. Coming down to the training tab, this is simple but very customizable. This top right corner, we can set in general the number of hours of training we want our team to do each day. We can also adjust that for pre and post match. And over here, we can shift the slider between team and individual training. Here we can also up the intensity. We can set the priority for the individual training. And there's this handy evolution tab, so we can have a look at how the players are going to progress if they continue on this path. And here there's also the option to give them a rest if they need it. The team training, not very detailed, but we can work on our cohesion as a unit in offense and defense. We can set the intensity for the team, and priority-wise, do we want to focus on which phase of the game or something balanced. We can also go down here to a breakdown of the finances, and we are over our wage budget. If we come down to facilities, you see we've got the option to invest some of our money in expanding the arena if we wish to. And we also here get a reminder of our objectives. We get both the director and fan satisfaction with what we're doing. So it seems I need to win the domestic league and reach the playoffs in Europe. And finally, let's take a look at the recruitment center. So this provides a list of free agents, people available for transfer or loan. And then we can sort all the information here by the various fields. We see youngsters go down as young as 14, 15, you can sign them. Hang on a minute, take a look at this guy, this Lithuanian kid, 14, and he's 204 centimeters tall. Whoa. And here's the schedule tab. I've played through the preseason. It's time for the first BetClick Elite match of the season. So here are the details. We're hosting Nanterre 92, or should I say Nanterre 92. So you do get the option here to just quick sim the game, but of course we're going to play it. We want to check out this 3D match engine, don't we? So a little bit of overview of the game here. Our objective, a reminder that we're supposed to be winning the competition. A few stats about the players to watch and so on, and then we can take a look at the tactics. So here we've got our starting five, we've got our subs. All right, so here we go. Don't worry, this isn't some kind of bizarre pre-match ritual. This is just how it's set up, so we've got to press play before we get into it. But there are a few options to look at here. With the settings, we can change the camera around. There is the option to play this in 2D mode, if that's your kind of thing, both in horizontal and vertical. You can set it up at any stand around the arena, or you can go for the TV option, which is what we'll go with. We can set substitutions to automatic. I prefer to do that in basketball games just because the rolling substitutions, it's all so quick. So anyway, let's tip off. So you see the player with the ball is highlighted. It looks a little bit weird. There's a kind of anime style to the graphics, I notice. It's almost like I'm watching this from some 90s TV cartoon. But we can also adjust the speed here, so we can speed that up a little bit if we want to. Oh dearie me, we missed an easy shot there. And we can even go super fast. We can opt to simulate up to the end of the period if we wish as well. Dearie me, we are not making any of these shots here, are we? Maybe somebody needs to choose a better play. We've got a three-pointer sunk there, though. So you can make those adjustments. Up here, we've got the option to call a timeout. We can do some shouts out to individual players, so let people know that we're not happy with them, or give them instructions for what we want them to do in the next play. Also here we've got options. We can add some things in. We can bring up this action by action box. We can bring up our live scores in other places. So, there's all sorts of things that you can get up on the screen here as well. Let's see, the action's slowed down a bit here. Let's see if we can somehow get back in this, but no, oof. Our opponents are sinking those 3-pointers, aren't they? We're going to have to do something about that. Right, let's see if we can get a score off here. We're going for a 3-pointer of our own. It was close, All right, we've still got the ball, though. We've still got the play. Come on, another 3-point shot we go for. We don't seem to be using that play I designed. I wonder what's going on with that. Just skipped ahead a bit. Just paused it here to show with these shouts. So we've got this guy, Mike James, on the ball now. So we get the option here. We can tell him to drive. We can tell him to go for a shot. Or we can just give him a bit of a boost, tell him to congratulate him I'll tell him to calm down. And let's go with inside shot and see what happens. Yeah, he's made a run. And he goes for it. Nice one. That worked. I'm going to have to do a bit more of that. So you do get a little bit of direct input into how your team plays, which is really good. You can get that direct input, and you can see it replicated on the pitch almost immediately. So I'm going to try that again. I'm going to tell Mike. Oh, I'm going to tell Mike. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Oh, where's he gone? There we go. Mike, let's tell him to go for an inside shot again. See if that works. All right. No, a foul's been called. Foul play is ruining my tactical wizardry here. But all right, let's see if he still goes for it from here. If he still follows that instruction, he does. You know, he goes for it. He's drawn another foul by the looks of it. You see, we closed it down to 13-11, so that's not too bad. If we're going to get the free throws here. Can we tie it up at 13-13? Oh, we missed the second one, so it's 13-12. But at least we've closed that gap. It looked like we were in for a bit of a pasting early on, but they're just sinking those 3-pointers. Man, we've got to do something about that. We've got to get a tall guy in doing the blocks there, I think. But all right, let's see how this plays out. Oh, and we've got a 3-pointer of our own to close it down to a point again. The end of the first quarter, and our opponent started to pull away with it again towards the end of that. But we get our team talk options here, so I can tell them nothing is lost yet. We can still do it. And here we can do some subs as well. We see we've got a couple of players whose conditioning is not that great, so we can just swap them out. And let's see how we can do in this second quarter. Straight off the bat, we've got 2 points, so off to a positive start. Couldn't keep it going, though. There's still a 7-point gap at the end of that quarter, so what do we tell them? Be more focused when on defense? I think that's what we've got to go with. All right, well, as you can see here, we started to get back into it. We closed it down to a point. The opposition coach called a timeout straight away, so I'm going to tell them that, you know, we've got to get back into it, make sure we take the lead before they come back at us. So I'll get them back out there. I'm going to bring off Diallo as well because he's tired out a bit. So let's bring in Pommier for now. So I made a tweak. I told my team to be more aggressive when we've lost the ball in defense to make sure they're harrying the opposition straight away, that they're not standing off. And that seemed to do the trick. We pulled it back pretty quickly, but now we've got to see how they're going to respond to us. All right, then we're into the final few minutes of the game. It's a bit of a war of attrition every time we kind of close the gap. They open it up again, as they've just done now. I've got to say, though, I think for a beginner to the basketball management genre like myself, and someone who's a casual basketball fan, this game is pretty accessible, I would say. I don't feel like I'm completely lost. With International Basketball Manager, I felt like there was a bit more of a learning curve with that one. This one seems a bit easier to just get straight into, so that's been good. I think the 3D match engine, although it's not like a perfect 3D match engine, it is decent, and it does make a difference. So yeah, this game is promising, and so far it's getting a thumbs up from me. So we've got it down to within a point now. There's 2 minutes left. If we can pull something off here, if we can get a score. Oh, we went for the 3-pointer. We probably should have driven in, done the drive, and gone for the 2-pointer just to take the lead and really put them under the cosh. But okay, good. They've missed. Let's see if we can close out a win here. Here comes Okobo. Okobo out to James. What's he going to do? Okobo, and yes, we've taken the lead for the first time in the game, I believe. And there was a foul in there as well, so we can add to that. Yes, we get an extra point, so 2-point lead. Exactly the right time to take the lead when there's a minute left on the clock. All right, time for a timeout, so we've got to tell... we could say you can ease off, we're well in front. I'm not going to go for that. I could say victory is in sight. Keep it up. Encourage the players. That's all we want to do. We want to encourage the players at this point. And our opponents, they keep going for the 3-pointers. Then they switch it up to 2-pointer, and they managed to level the score. But they had like 3 3-point shots in a row and missed all of them. So it's 70-70. We have got 15 seconds left on the clock. Oh, that was a big miss. But can we get something here? Come on. The final few seconds. If we score now, we've won the game. Surely that's it. 72-70. They go for the buzzer killer, and they can't do it. We have got the W. So we get a little game summary here. John Brown III was the MVP for that particular game. We get a look at everything that happened in the league. So let me know in the comments what you thought of that first look video. If you've played it yourself, Pro Basketball Manager, let me know your experience as well. And most importantly, let me know if you want a Road to Glory series using Pro Basketball Manager.